Okay, that should be working. Hello, everybody. I should have checked before I started recording. It's been a while. How many days since I've made one of these videos? I'm gonna check. 1 second. Eek. Not at all prepared right now. So it has been 2 months since I made one of these videos. Sorry. But I feel like that's the exact analogy for like ADHD. That is just what happens. Life gets intense and some of the things kind of fall on the wayside, and it's just you're not able to keep everything in your mind that you want to do. Something else that happened in that time is I'm not meant to be wearing my headphones. I had them on. I'm taking them off. The continuity of this is all over the place. I've still got a cough. I'm okay though. I'm no longer sick. Yes. In the 2-month break I've taken from making these, I have got on to ADHD medication. And an interesting thing happened. To talk about that, I want to give some context to why I've made these videos. A big reason why I've made these videos is that when I started making them at the time, I did not have the ability to make fully edited videos. The main issue that people with ADHD suffer from is a thing called executive dysfunction. And one of the biggest ways I deal with that is I find it very difficult to finish tasks that I start, unless there's someone who's going to be angry if I don't do it. And this is the problem with kind of veering towards the kind of self-employed side. It's difficult for me to get stuff done, especially when it's very complex. And so instead of making edited YouTube videos, I tried these Uncut vlogs, and they seem to work. Granted, I only filmed 4 at the time. There will be more coming. This isn't the end of these. I only filmed 4, and they worked. From now on, they'll probably be from this setup, just because what I had done was move my whole setup, but that takes a lot more effort, and I've realised I can just film them here, and it's exactly the same. I was just adding extra work for myself. I'm still doing the same of not cleaning my background or anything, but my bed's unmade. You can't really see much from here. So yeah, I decided to do the Uncut vlogs because I have thoughts. I like communicating them. I've always wanted to do YouTube, and this was the only way that I could do it consistently at the time. The idea of writing a script, filming the video, filming all the other clips I'd want to add, and editing it was too much for my brain to handle. So all I made myself do was film it, watch it back, and upload it, which is still what I'm going to do over here. But I do now have a second main channel. This is a very odd order of things. I've started this channel before I started the main channel. Anyway. This channel is much more chill vlog style. My other one, I'm doing more edited videos. And part of the reason I can do that now is I've got on ADHD medication. And that's kind of what I want to talk about. My experiences a bit. I have been on it for like 4 weeks and a couple days now. And they've been increasing my dose slowly. So I'm at the kind of dose I'll stay at right now. But yeah, I'll just talk about my experiences, I think, because that's valuable. So the first day I got on meds was really weird. Really weird. I had a major euphoric feeling a couple of hours in. It's funny, I think I'm used to it now, but I remember what I thought at the time. Because I was lying in bed for about an hour after I'd taken it, because I think I didn't get very much sleep, so I like had a little nap after I took it. And then as soon as I like lifted my head off the pillow, my brain felt so focused. It felt a bit like when a person with ADHD is hyper-focused, but I was hyper-focused on everything at once without it being overwhelming. My mind was just very clear and I could do things. Because as I said, the biggest issue I haven't been able to solve in my many years of trying with ADHD is getting tasks done and starting tasks and completing tasks I start. It's a lot of the stuff I do, and I desperately want to finish them. I just can't without like external pressure, which is basically just the addition of anxiety, which isn't nice to have anxiety to finish stuff. But yes, when I first got on meds, it was like a kind of euphoric feeling for a couple hours. I had heard that there's quite bad crashes. I have not experienced this, but again, everyone is different. This is purely my experience and I'm not a professional. So I was paranoid about crashes the first day, and I thought I had one, but I think I was just tired. Because it was way too early. My medication wouldn't have worn off by then, when I thought I had one. And then I was kind of fine for the rest of the day. And it just... I was able to do a couple of tasks that I'd been putting off. Little things like wrapping up presents for a friend, and I was able to kind of just feel good. Also, the medication took my anxiety away. Not all of it. I still get anxiety, but a lot of my anxiety is about completing tasks. It's like a vicious circle. Before I was on meds, I would spend all day not being able to do tasks and getting more and more anxious about it. And I've probably done this most of my life. And so it's funny. I had the perception that when I would be on meds, I would be able to do everything, and so I would get everything done as fast as possible. But in actuality, because the meds allowed me to do stuff, it took away my kind of day-to-day anxiety. It meant that instead of me feeling stressed and wanting to do everything as soon as possible, It meant that I was much calmer about doing tasks, and it actually meant that rather than trying to get all the tasks done as soon as possible, I did a couple tasks and then thought to myself, you know what, I deserve to relax. And it was like anxiety, guilt-free relaxing, which is one of the first times I've felt that in a long time. Because I think with ADHD, you internalize a lot of people telling you to do things and you feeling not able to do them, and being like called lazy, which is, don't use the word lazy. It's not useful. I wasn't lazy. I was suffering with executive dysfunction and was probably very stressed. So I was resting, which is a valid thing to do and a thing everyone should do, probably more. So back to meds. What it meant is that I was all able to do tasks, but I was also thinking more clearly, and I was able to rest as well. And it was a lot more guilt-free than before. And it was such a nice feeling. Because I realised that me thinking that me getting on meds was going to make me do all these tasks was actually my anxiety speaking. And because I got a lot less anxiety, I didn't think like that anymore. It's not that it changed my thought process, it's that it eliminated the anxious thoughts that aren't actually me. They're my brain overthinking, which is not the ideal state to be in, anyway. So yeah, generally my first week of meds, I was very aware of everything. I tried to stay as aware of my body as possible, and I was like over-analysing stuff. And the truth is, since then, it's been difficult to notice stuff. Because I've been consistently taking them. I haven't taken a day off. I might in the future. I've been given the okay that I can, so I kind of want to experience what it was like before, and just kind of test myself and see what I find is different. But anyway, because I've been consistently taking them for like 4 weeks now, it feels like a normal state of things, and it's less euphoric because I can't really remember what it was like before anymore, and this has become the kind of normal of my day. But so I find it difficult to tell whether I'm still improving, or have continued the same level that I was at. But the truth is, I'm still able to do a lot of stuff. Like, I filmed a whole YouTube video for my other channel and edited it and uploaded it in one day, which I've never been able to do in the way that I did it. It felt very calming, and I didn't feel like I was doing it wrong. Not wrong in the way you're probably assuming. I have a real problem with starting projects if I don't think that the final product is going to be perfect. I often wait till I think the final product is going to be perfect. And of course, it's never going to be perfect. The best way to start doing stuff and getting it to a better quality is to do the thing, which is part of what that video is about, to be fair. But the actual things that I've been able to do while on meds kind of prove to me that it's still happening, because I wouldn't have done this before. Rearranging my legs. I wouldn't have been able to do the things I do automatically before. At all. I also I cleaned my whole bathroom the second day I was on meds. I've never cleaned a whole bathroom. All in one day. I did it in like 3 hours. Then I did 4 loads of washing or something. It was a day. But again, I feel like the kind of momentum of that has stopped. And it's... Because if I'd have continued going at that momentum and doing that amount of things every day, I would have burned out very quickly. Plus, going on to what happened when I got to like week 3 or 4 of me on my meds, I got a bit ill. My whole body decided to just say no for a bit. I had very intense wisdom tooth pain. Like, I was trying to get to sleep and couldn't sleep because of the pain. And so was like using the NHS website to try and talk to someone. It's all fine now. I have a dentist appointment booked and they gave me antibiotics for a time. So that's all fine. But for about 5-ish days, I was in pain because of that. And I've become much better at letting myself rest when I'm in pain. So I was still taking my meds, but I wasn't as aware of how they were affecting me because my mind was preoccupied and I was in pain and I was just kind of trying to keep going. And then I had a weekend where that was fine and I felt fine. My tooth had died down. Like this side of my face, it all swelled up, which was not fun. And then I had a nice weekend. I was just very chill. And then on the Tuesday, I caught COVID. So a week, I had my wisdom tooth pain on Monday, was the first day I started. Well, it technically started on Saturday, but it was only a little bit. And I have wisdom teeth coming through, so I'm used to a little bit of pain every now and again because they're just coming through. But by the Monday, it was really bad and I was starting to be swollen. This had kind of more or less died down by Friday. It took like another full week for all the swelling to go down, but I was also taking my antibiotics and I had like a special mouthwash to use. And so Monday, I got my wisdom tooth problems, and then the following Tuesday, I started to feel ill. And it was on the Wednesday, I couldn't do anything. Like, could barely get out of bed. I had a bath for a long time and then went back to bed. And I did a COVID test and I had COVID. And at that point, I was due to have my second vaccination on the Monday following, which obviously I didn't have in the end because you have to wait. In the UK, I think you have to wait a month from after you stop showing COVID symptoms to get a vaccine. Like, you need to wait a period of time, which makes sense. It's just very awful timing of my body to decide to catch COVID. So what that meant on the Wednesday is that I was feeling really, really bad. Wednesday was the worst day. I was beginning to feel a bit better the 4 or 5 days following. And then by the Wednesday afterwards, I was feeling more or less myself again. I think I kind of still have this was last week, as in 2 weeks ago, over 2 weeks ago now, I caught COVID. And so I isolated for the full 10 days. And I think I had to isolate till the weekend. I was feeling better, but I still have a tiny bit of a cough, but I don't have COVID anymore. My body doesn't react the best to when I get things like the flu because of previous things I've had. And it takes me a while to fully recover. But I had COVID. And so I also couldn't tell what my meds were doing, really. And this was when they were slowly increasing the dose. So it's the past week I've been more aware of how I've been feeling. And I have slowly been able to do more stuff. But as you can imagine, being kind of ill or in pain and not able to do things for like almost 3 weeks, out of the 4 that I have been on meds, is not optimum for realising how it's changed your, like, thinking and doing stuff. So it's difficult to tell for me, because it's been a time. And those 3 weeks is also partly, I would have come back and made another one of these videos sooner, but I did not do anything for a few weeks. So yeah. This past week has been good though. I've been doing stuff. I've been slowly doing things. At the moment, I'm like trying to implement daily things to do, because I know that in the long run that'll help. One of the biggest things you can do to help with ADHD is exercise regularly. So I'm trying to exercise daily, only for like 5 minutes in the morning. And then also working on like regular showers, dental hygiene, things like that that people don't realise is a real big problem when you have ADHD. And also like cooking nice food. One of the ways I practice self-care for myself is cooking good, nutritious food, even if I'd prefer to get like takeaway. Because I do enjoy cooking, and I enjoy having good food, so it's kind of a win-win. But yeah, as I said, I was able to make a YouTube video last weekend, a few days ago now. I will link the video in the channel down below. And because that was kind of easy once I started. I just need to keep starting making them. So that's partly what this is, getting back into the swing of it. I'm hoping to make more regular stuff. And yes, I realised that I'd been neglecting this because I realised that I can edit now. And so the stuff that I used to do that was easier, because I had problems with completing tasks, I've now stopped doing, because I'm able to do the more difficult tasks when, like, a few of them I still like doing, like this. But yes, I realised I didn't go into much depth about my experience on meds. The truth is, as you can imagine, I've found it difficult to reflect given everything else that's been happening. Also, with the antibiotics and things I was on, of course, they all were all fine, the ones I took with my, like, working with my medication, so nothing, like, interacted in a bad way, if that makes sense. Just to say, if you are going to take things like antibiotics and you're on some type of medication, you always need to check with the doctor that's prescribing you the antibiotics whether it's okay to have, and let them know what medication you're already on. Just as a side note. I did that and it was fine. And so, without being able to tell really what the meds have done, bar being able to do things, which I suppose is kind of the only barometer of it, I'm generally less anxious, but things like my wisdom tooth really piqued my anxiety. Like, anxiety that's, like, makes sense to have, I still get. And I still get a bit of, it's not so much social anxiety, but, like, emails and stuff still make me a bit, but I no longer feel as anxious about the pile of tasks I have to do, because I am slowly getting through them, and also my meds just help me be able to do them. So rather than me thinking, oh, I should do this thing, and then because I can't make myself do that thing, I get more anxious. If I think, oh, I need to do this thing, I'm able to go and do the thing. Which is really nice. It's really nice. And I'm not saying my meds don't work. They definitely do. I feel a lot better on them. And the really nice thing about it hasn't changed really anything about me. It's changed the things that made life difficult. Only, really. Which is ideal for me. I'm not saying this will happen with everyone. This is just my experience, as I said before. But for me, it's just changed the things that were, like, difficult to do. There's also a side effect of the meds that I'm on, that your appetite can be a bit suppressed. But previously to going on the meds, I've struggled most of my life with kind of binge eating. And since going on the meds, I don't do that. It's not because of the appetite suppression, though. Because on the first day on meds, I tried having some, like, sweets that I would have, like, eaten the whole packet from before. And they were nice to have, but they were only nice in the terms that they tasted nice, rather than they were something that I had to have, which is different. Also, my binge eating was most likely a symptom and kind of linked to my ADHD, which is why the meds have helped. I've worked a lot on my body image issues in the past few years, so I have a lot less of those now. And the fact that I was still having problems with overeating when I was full, makes sense that those things go away. But I think if I hadn't done that work on my body image issues, I may still have the same problems. Meds don't fix everything. I did a lot of work internally and on myself before I went on meds, which meant that I actually realised that the problems that I was still struggling with, I couldn't fix on my own, and so I needed help. Just to explain that. But yes, the meds helped, I think, in that I wasn't craving the sort of stimulation that I used to get from eating a lot, because I would just do it out of habit, or I would just do it because I could, and because I wanted some kind of, it was a lot of sugar, and sugar makes you feel good, and I was always searching to feel better, because I was anxious about things, and a plethora of other things, I'm sure. So the meds really help with that. And the appetite suppression thing was kind of just something to get a bit used to. Going from being able to eat however much I want to not feeling like eating a lot was, like, the first couple of weeks were probably the ones where I struggled the most. But a way that I found to deal with it, because I just really like food, it's tasty. I also really like cooking, which I know a lot of people don't like doing, but I really like cooking. A way to, like, combat that for me is to make sure that the food I'm having is good food. And also, I, went out for dinners a few times with a few of my friends, and I was able to, finish everything. And, I wasn't really hungry for dessert, but I ate, a full main and was able to eat a second meal later in the day if we went out for lunch. And we were still, together and got, spent the whole day together and got, 2 full meals. I was able to eat all that, but it was less I was less binging as well as that, which is what I used to do, which is a much healthier way to do it, in my opinion. But yes, I just realised, I used to eat food to get the kind of kick from the sugar, whereas now if I eat sugary food, it's just because I enjoy it. It's really weird to explain, but it's a really different sensation. Like, the other day, I bought the ingredients to make s'mores, because my friend told me about it. And I haven't made them yet. There was one evening where I really fancied it, but it kind of got a bit late, and I was starting to feel a bit tired, and I was like, I'm going to enjoy these more another day if I make them. I might make them after this, actually. But I was like, I'm going to enjoy them another day when I make them more than I am at like 9 p.m, just before I'm going to go to bed. It's also not the best to eat just before you sleep. So I was like, I don't need to. I think I had like a couple satsumas instead, because I was like, I'm obviously craving something sweet, but it doesn't need to be this very like starchy biscuity thing. Which I would have never done before. If I'd have bought the things for s'mores before, I would have made s'mores for the whole day that I bought the stuff and not eaten anything else. Which is progress. Anyway, this has become a lot about, well, I've just let my mind wander, which I suppose is what these are about. But yes, that's kind of a brief explanation of why I've been gone. I think I was also just busy before I started meds. That's probably why it's been a full 2 months. Because I have only been on meds for like a month. It's just been a bit of a busy time recently, but I'm getting into more of a schedule now, which I think my meds help me with. Well, they do. And yes, I'm sure I'll do more in-depth videos about it. I definitely want to talk about when I do take a day off as a break, my experiences with having a day without my meds and then coming back on them the next day and how that feels. Because I think that would be very valuable. But yes, I am back now. So long as nothing else happens, touch wood. It's been a bit of a time. I'm back now. We have returned to the land of the mostly healthy. So I'm currently kind of resetting my life after being ill. As in, I'm sure as what happens with everyone when they're ill, my room became a mess. I ordered quite a lot of takeaway while in isolation that the person I live with went to go get for me, because I wasn't really leaving my room. And there's a lot of like all my washing, I hadn't done any washing because I didn't want to use the communal areas while I had COVID. So it's a lot of like, I have a lot of basic life things kind of in the backlog that I've got to get through first. But I'm doing that at the same time as YouTube stuff. So we are back in business. It's also, it's starting to be autumn now in the UK. So it's not going to be so hot. We had a week where it was too hot. And it's not going to be like that anymore. And I have plenty of heaters when it does get cold, so it's all good. But yes, as I said, I'll most likely make more videos on this type of thing in the future. As in my experiences with meds. I could do a whole video about my experience with like food and the problems I had with that maybe. That's something I'm happy to talk about. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you've been well in these past 2 months. I have missed like making videos. It's fun. I like communicating my thoughts. It's fulfilling and also a bit, it helps me process them a bit. So this is as much for me as for you. But yes, I should be back. I'm not sure how often I'm going to make these videos. I'm going to kind of try with a schedule I put in place in my personal life. And if that continues working, I'll let y'all know how often I'm going to make these videos. But yes, as I said, I will link my main YouTube channel down in the description box. I know especially this is not the best way for ADHD people to take in information, I know, because of our such short attention span. So me speaking very slowly is not the most engaging thing, and it being uncut isn't the most engaging. So if you have made it this far in the video and you find vlogs like this difficult, my other channel has more quick-paced, edited videos that aren't half an hour long, like this has turned into. Oops. I often say I can talk for England, and that is very true. Evident here. But yes, the channel will be linked down below. I'm also doing I'm really hyped about what I'm making over there. It's kind of similar vein. I'm a big fan of, like, well, my first video is called Failure, and it's about my journey tackling my fear of actually making YouTube videos, and I talk about it there. So feel free to watch that. Hopefully be making more videos on there, kind of general life things. I also stream over on Twitch. Twitch streams are coming back next week. If you're watching this, it's what day am I coming back to Twitch? Middle of September. My stream back is on the 21st of September. So if you are watching this before then, or after, feel free, follow me on my Twitch so you can be there. Or you can be there for future streams. They should be more consistent from now on. As I said, I have been very ill. Not being able to get out of bed ill. So yes, that is the plan at the moment. Thank you all for watching, especially if you've made it this far. This has been a lot, and I understand that. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you've all been well in these past 2 months. I think I may have already said that. But yes, I appreciate you all. If you are struggling at the moment, be kind to yourself. Allow yourself periods of rest. And yes, I will hopefully see you guys soon. I will endeavour to make my next vlog shorter than this. I think I aim to keep them at like 10 minutes long. This is nearly 40 minutes long, and that's a lot, so I understand. Trying to keep them shorter. But yes. This wasn't a very succinct topic, which is why I've talked for so long and gone on many tangents. I hope you've enjoyed an insight into my brain. I will see you in the next one. Bye, everyone.